So yesterday it showed that one man can change every market in the world. We saw markets go up, we saw Bitcoin go up, we saw gold stay up, we saw the value of American dollar go up, we saw the Chinese yuan fall to pieces, and we can negotiate tariffs and basically a trade deficit better with every country, including China, saying they're coming to the table. But still, there was complaints yesterday. What I've become to see is that politicians on the left, the media, and just about every leftist, no matter what you do, you could give them a plate of gold and they will find a way to complain about it. Trump trying to say no tax on $150,000 or less. Then they complain that they don't have enough money. Then they complain that he wants to cut Medicaid for it. Then they complain that he wants to cut Social Security for it, which is so actually false. Today we're going to talk about what happened yesterday with the markets. And I touched a little about this yesterday on the live, but I want to hit a little deeper on thought patterns of what happened yesterday. And then also we're going to discuss China a little bit more. We're going to discuss what your Congress let China do over the last really 20, 30, 40 years. And then they want to blame Trump for it. Also, we're going to talk about the Chinese persecution that's happening more and more in China. They're actually quoting Mao and using him on Twitter as a feed. Are we seeing a new uptick against persecution against the Americans and also Christians? We'll discuss that too. And my favorite is that Congress says they want to go after Trump for insider trading, which is exactly what most of them do each and every day. That's how they've become quasi-millionaires. Let's discuss some of these stories because it will blow your mind. And you'll see the narcissism, and you'll see actually why Congress has the lowest approval ratings ever. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, again, thank you so very much for coming by. We hope that you enjoyed this content and hopefully you'll get something out of it. And hopefully we'll gain common sense together, wisdom together, and comment below things that you disagree with. So that way we can learn from each other and hopefully gain a good community below. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. Now first let's talk about the market. We had a major swing yesterday. Negotiations took place and now every nation says they want to negotiate, even China. Now let's just kind of go over some things and then we're going to go about hearing the repercussions of it. It said, as of yesterday, the U.S. stock market added $5.5 trillion. Also yesterday, every market other than China gained value. Okay? Kobayashi letter says gold extends gain by $150 in 24 hours and fights to stay relevant. It is up to the all-time high. Bitcoin skyrockets and goes back up and surges due to the fact that tariffs are easing with the EU and they want to negotiate better trade with America. Now, it's not where it once was, but that had nothing to do with Trump. I mean, it started tanking before that. So it did go up. The U.S. stock market went up as the same time the dollar went up, at the same time the Chinese yuan fell 18-year low amid the trade tensions. EU eyes more natural gas trade and wants to utilize America for that based on some of the other issues that are happening worldwide. And part of the trade negotiations and tariff negotiations is EU wants to work with Trump more. And this is my favorite one. This is where I love, because you're going to hear about the congressman in a second. It said that most billionaires end up making a lot of their money back. Most millionaires made a lot of their money back. Most people who were invested in the market with their 401ks, 403bs, and also middle America who did have money in the stock market, most people made it back. Now it's not up to where it once was. Let's just keep watching. So when you hear about all those stories, you hear every aspect of the markets, every aspect of money, every aspect of parallel society such as gold or crypto, even our dollar. Everything went up for America yesterday. And China's went down. And all you hear from the left, here's I want to read some of the snides at Trump for this now. Chuck Schumer comes out and says, we have been completely bamboozled and let down by Trump. We feel betrayed by Trump. One representative yesterday was so upset that the market went back up and that there was a 90-day pause in tariffs and that he didn't know it. Now, this is the same people, the same Congress that said they did not want the tariffs in, to then when Trump actually did a 90-day pause and actually made mention of it at 9 the morning before, which means he about 3 or 4 hours before, he basically foreshadowed it and said it's a great day to buy. A great day to buy. He didn't tell that to his inside trading buddies. He didn't tell that to his just billionaire friends. He literally put it out on Truth Social and Twitter saying it's a great day to buy into the market. Now, if you didn't capitalize on that, or you didn't quote unquote buy the dip, oh well. So now the Democrats, Adam Schiff, come out and said he wants to investigate Trump for insider trading. Elizabeth Warren, who is a known major player in the stock market, who has made quasi-millions, one of the richest people in Congress because of the trades that she's made in the stock market, comes out and says that she believes that Trump was insider trading. And he's the president of the United States who has the power of the tariff to say yes or no, we're going to do it or not, we're going to negotiate or not. And you convince him of insider trading when he literally made a comment hours before he did the actual stop and said it's a great day to buy. Now we have Democrats and congressmen and media complaining that he put tariffs on in the first place. Now they're complaining that he took tariffs off. And now they're saying because everybody made a lot of money and China got hurt in the whole situation, that Trump did insider trading. Now help me understand that. Now those same people were saying they want the markets better, crypto is going down, and gold is skyrocketing. They were complaining that crypto was down and the market was down. Now the market is up, crypto is going back up, gold is still high, and they're complaining that Trump, this was all bamboozled by Trump. They were betrayed by Trump. So what actually come out of this? Let's go again. Let's talk about this. We now have tariffs still on people. I know people think that we just canceled all tariffs and Trump caved. He didn't. He actually still said there would be a nation, every nation will still have somewhat of a tariff, but they're negotiating the terms of a better trade deal. Well, EU has already come out and said they want to negotiate. They said they want to start buying natural gas from us, and they said they want to be a better trade partner with Trump. Okay, so that would be, I think, a net positive, correct, for America? We saw the dollar go up because everybody realized that Trump could stop and hinder every market, or with one tweet, change the whole market in the world, not just the U.S. stock market, but every market in the world could go up based on his tweet. It showed the power and the fact that he's holding all the spades. Okay? It said that billionaires made their money back. And so that was why some of the Democrats complained, okay? So the billionaires lost the most money in the stock market. So then people complained that the billionaires were losing money and that the billionaires who made the businesses were losing money. That was the exact words of people like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi last week. Now they're complaining that they made their money back. So last week they were saying, look at all the people losing money. I mean, these are our business makers. And now that they make their money back, they're blaming Trump for inside trading and that the billionaires made too much money. I'm just trying to, I want you to understand where I'm coming here now. What I'm saying, you're hearing this conversation from both sides of the mouth. That's why no one trusts Congress, because they're literally saying one thing last week and then saying something totally different this week. Did you know, go back and look, in the 90s, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi were both pushing for American reciprocal tariffs on China. They were saying that the trade deficit was unfair and that they were both pushing Congress and the president to put heavier negotiations and heavier tariffs on China. Now, Trump is dealing with this now, but let's go back and look at some of the numbers and what I mean. In 1990, top exporter was America, and we exported to 175 countries. In 1990, China was only the top exporter for 8 countries. 2000, we were 155, China 15. So basically we lost 20 and they doubled. 2010, listen to this. We exported to 85 countries as the top exporter, meaning they got most of their goods from us. In 2010, China went and quadrupled their number to 55. Now listen to this. During the Biden years, top exporter, this is unbelievable. After 2020, what happened in 2020 and why did it tie to China? This was a bigger player. During the Biden years, America became the top exporter for 35 countries. China, 125 countries. Now, this whole time, Congress could have stepped in and actually built a better import-export and trade situation on China. They complain about Trump trying to do this now, but they've had 30-something years to allow America to stay on top. Our politicians, our leaders, are the ones that actually made that happen, not Trump. Trump is trying to fix what we messed up over the last 30 years. Now, Trump back in the 80s, this was in 1990, we were the top exporter in the world. In 1988, there was a conversation Trump had, and it was almost like prophesying. And again, I'm not building Trump up. I'm just saying he literally said, tariffs are a good thing. We need to keep tariffs on China. Free trade is not a bad thing, but it needs to come with stipulations. And now, 30-something years later, almost 40 years later, we literally see that China is in this. They're the major exporter for 125 nations, while we're the top exporter for 35. We've lost 140 countries of them buying our goods to China, all because of free trade and because our Congress and our politicians lacks policy on China. At the same time, they complain that now Trump is trying to be tough on China. We're literally just weeks away from that Ukrainian flag getting changed in liberal bios and in leftist bios and Democrat bios to like a Chinese flag. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, look, the complaint yesterday by Nancy, by Adam Schiff, and by Chuck Schumer was it was an unfair advantage that Trump did, and actually it looked like it was trying to hurt the people of China. Did you hear me? Adam Schiff said it was mutiny of what Trump did, and that he did something wrong against the American people. So American people ended up making money yesterday. $5.5 trillion was added to the American economy yesterday. And everybody's like, well, we lost 6 or 7 the few days before. But now you have a $5.5 trillion add, plus you have 70 countries that are willing to negotiate with you for better trade. So what you did is you manipulated the market, okay? Say that. Trump manipulated the market. Okay. What do you think China does? What do you think Japan does? What do you think any country does? They manipulate the market. What do you think your politicians do? They manipulate you. Are we thinking everybody is just playing with cupcakes and rainbows and that nobody can manipulate and play hardball? That's exactly what every country does. Is Russia and Ukraine throwing cupcakes at each other? No, they're shooting each other. Because we live in a crazy time. But manipulation is part of politics. I don't care if you believe that or not. Look at Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They're once for tariffs, they're now against tariffs. They once say tariffs are wrong, now they're saying you shouldn't have put a 90-day hold on it without our knowing. Really, why they're probably complaining is because they didn't know it, they didn't follow Trump's tweet, and they didn't get in on the buy the dip to make money yesterday. I think that's kind of funny. But that's where we're at, that everybody is complaining about what Trump did yesterday, and that actually, what is there to complain about when everything went up yesterday? And negotiations are getting better, and tariffs are still bringing in, listen to this, tariffs are still bringing in an extra $2 billion a day, is what the White House said yesterday. And it was confirmed by several news sources to say that what the tariffs are actually doing, even with the hold, his tariffs are bringing in around $2 billion extra a day. Now, they'll find a way to complain about that, I imagine, too. Listen to this. It says China's GDP growth could fall 2.4% with these tariffs that's still on with Trump. It also says China's growth has already been anemic at 5%. If you cut that in half, China will go through a domestic chaos and will cause for a panic with their own leadership. That was before the yuan fell out 18% to a 20-year low. I mean, that's just unbelievable. But again, we want to complain that we are hurting the Chinese market. I'm telling you, you're just days away from the Chinese flag going in people's bios. It says that the Chinese yuan has fallen to its lowest level against the US dollar since 20 since 2007, reaching the value that has not been seen since 18 to 20 years ago. The decline follows China's central bank instructing major state-owned banks to reduce their purchases of US dollars, a move aimed at managing the yuan's value. China has imposed retaliatory 84% tariffs on US imports. Here's what you don't understand, because here's what the leftists and the media is telling you. Oh my gosh, without tariffs, or all this money coming in, because if they charge an 84% tariff, that's going to hurt America. Listen. China has no economy without us buying. The reason their tariffs are lower than our tariffs is because they know, and everyone knows if they know simple economics, is if China does not sell goods to America, they can add 60, 70 other countries up, and it will not touch what America buys from China. If China tries to play too much hardball, China will sink their own economy because their goods have to go to America or it will sink their economy. I laugh when people say America is dependent on China. It's actually reciprocating. Truthfully, that's a good word for this, because China's economy only benefits if America is buying. If America stops buying, China goes belly up. So this is a situation where let's just make it reciprocating. Let's make it the same, and let's make it, okay, if we're truly going to have free trade or we're truly going to have tariffs, let's put it at the same level, and let's just be adversarial relationship, knowing that you scratch my back, I scratch your back. That's actually what it is. But instead, you have Democrats and leftists complaining about tariffs on China. Rand Paul, I told you I'm a big Rand Paul fan. However, last week, to me, after this came out, he looks completely dumb, because he come back and actually said that tariffs are a bad thing and that we should have free trade. Now that we have all that off the table, he doesn't really know what to say, and he's like, well, tariffs are good if they're reciprocating, but the way that we were trying to do them is wrong. We should take this power away from the president. So we want to give more power to Congress. What has Congress done for you? Again, I said this yesterday. What has Congress done to prove that they deserve the power of the tariff? At the same time, gold, Bitcoin, the stock market, and better trade negotiations just happened yesterday because the president negotiated it, and now they're complaining that everything is going up now. They complained last week that everything's going down. Now they're complaining everything's up. So we want them over the power of the tariffs, including people like Rand Paul, who can't make his mind up if he supports tariffs or not. As a conservative, that's what it's mind-boggling to me that we're even having this conversation. Now lastly, let's talk. I just want to mention a few other things. China come out and did some quotes from Mao. Mao was a dictator that actually, literally caused persecution on his own people and around the world. They also came out yesterday and stated, and this is from an article that shared that, and again, this is a warning to Christians here and a warning to the West, I believe. China moves to formally end Christian missionaries and activity from other countries. The autocratic Chinese Communist Party is imposing severe restrictions on Christian missionaries actively trying to come into the country, and they're scared that it would hurt their loyalty to the party, which is the CCP, and usurps the other beliefs and credentials against the Chinese party. So they're quoting Mao, they're threatening war, they're wanting bigger trade wars with America. Now they're telling Christians to get out because they're scared that people will start rising up against the CCP. So what we basically just heard is that they're getting scared that they're going to lose power based on what Trump is doing, based on what Christianity is doing, based on what the West is doing to them. Does that not show that they're in a very big tumultuous situation, way worse than anybody else in the world? Is they're wanting to now get religion out. They're quoting Mao, one of their biggest dictator leaders in past history that actually literally killed its own people. So it shows that they're trying to tell their people, don't cross me. And now they're wanting to build a trade war with the biggest partner they have in the world, America. Instead of trying to negotiate, well, they came to the table, so they want to negotiate yesterday. But now they said, well, we still want to keep these tariffs on just in case. They can't, again, it's funny because we think that Trump and U.S. is bad at negotiations. Actually, what you're seeing is the best trade situation that America has ever been in. And it's going to end up bringing jobs back here, less money on trade. So if we're going to have trade, and it is going to be free trade or fair trade, then it's at least going to be fair to Americans, not to all the other parts of the world. Watch this week what happens with trade. You're fixing to see more things like Europe coming out and saying that they believe that they're going to start buying all their natural gas from America. Because what they saw last week is that Trump could literally make one comment and destroy all their markets. He can make one comment and make their market skyrocket. So it doesn't matter if they like him or not. They know he has the power. You may not like him having the power, but he has the power. And what he did yesterday is prove it. One comment changed every market. The U.S. market went up $5.5 trillion. Every other market other than China's market went up based on his conversation. So that showed not only did he have power over the U.S. trade market and the stock market, he had power over every market. The Japanese market, the Korean market, the Australian market, the European market. So now you'll see all of them come and say, okay, you know what? We need to build a better negotiation. We need to start actually working with America better. And no matter if we like Trump or not, he does hold all the cards. And I think that's what he proved yesterday. One more thing I want to mention, and I thought this was a good word from Kevin O'Leary. Again, Kevin O'Leary, I mean, he's kind of arrogant guy, of course, rich. But I love what he said on CNN. He said, I believe that Trump needs to bring the supreme leader to Washington, tell him this is what we're going to do, and until he comes, we're going to crush his economy and put a 400% tariff on him. What he was saying is, you've got to make sure that everyone understands that America does hold all the keys. And I like that you're starting to hear people be a little bit more honest about all this. And here's what I love about, so far, some of these people in this administration, Howard Lutnick, even Trump, Bessent. I love the fact that they are willing to literally talk to the American people and not talk as a politician. They just speak honestly. I love the fact that he says everybody wants to kiss his butt. I love that. You know why? Because for the so long, for the last 40 years, we've had leaders lead us astray. We've had leaders destroy our dollar. We've had leaders put us in piles of debt. And now they're complaining that Trump is doing something bad. Adam Schiff, Schumer, Pelosi, and let's talk on McConnell, let's talk on the Republican side too. Those are the kind of people that's led our America astray, put us in piles of debt, and now they're complaining that American leader, Trump, has too much power. Help me understand that. That's why you have to listen to the sources when it actually comes to all this talking points and the talking heads on media and politicians. What has the media and the politicians actually done for you to say that we can trust them over this administration? Democrats or Republicans, I'm just being honest. What has anyone told you in the last 50 years that actually has benefited you that the government has done, other than what Trump has probably done in the last few days and weeks to make America actually strong again? What he proved is that America still is in power, and he did it better than anyone else so far in the last 50 years. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's stories. I'm not a cheerleader for Trump. I'm not saying that he's done everything right. What I'm trying to say to you though is he proved the point that America still is on top and that they hold all the spades and all the keys to all the situations across the world. So don't mess around and try to take advantage of us like you have for so long. And I think that's what all this proved, is that America still has the negotiating power. And he just said, I'm going to say the quiet parts out loud. And since the politicians have let us down, I'm going to say what we should have been doing for the last 50 years is better negotiation, better trade, and we're just going to fix it right now. I think it's a good thing. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless.